He'll
right,
pop
so I
up
hit
later.
The go
He always
live
does.
button. Now we're going live. We're going live. All right, so we're live, and everybody, do not in the comments talk about the Mandalorians at all, because the person right below me has not seen it yet. I guess it's his birthday week. How old are you gonna be?
36?
36.
Yeah.
36. All right.
Yeah.
So
Old.
nobody
Enough where my hip is hurting right now.
Right.
So
Old enough where you hurt your back playing video games.
Shut up, Devin.
And we're not talking the Wii.
I hate that actually happened.
So for ages, does it for oldest to youngest? It's me, Ken, John, Devin, and David?
Well, exactly how old are you, William?
41.
I'm 41 too. When were you born?
March.
October. So
yeah.
All right, so you just turned 41.
Yeah.
I am the middle. I am the middle.
I think the middle child is like the one that's like, I don't know, what's the studies? I don't even know anymore.
No, anyway, can we talk about the Nintendo World?
No.
Nintendo World. Yes, let's talk about Nintendo World.
We don't talk about Nintendo things on this podcast.
Yeah, spoiler alert.
This is about fiduciary responsibility.
No. Oh my god. That video didn't even show off everything, and I want to go to Japan like yesterday.
It didn't show any rides, and I want to go. Like,
my favorite.
It showed...
They just showed that band, which also doubles as an amiibo, mind you. Which now I have to get all of them.
How many are there?
There's Luigi, Mario, Daisy, Peach, Toad, and Yoshi.
Oh, and they're going to introduce special limited edition ones.
No, I was waiting for him. Like, okay, here's the Super Nintendo World exclusive amiibo, and I was like, oh my god, no! Thank you, they didn't do that. Oh god.
What's up, Ronald? How you doing?
Yeah,
my favorite meme of the thing was when Miyamoto pops out of the
it's canon that he's Mario's dad.
And someone said Nintendo just randomly dropping canon or deep lore on us, and Miyamoto said, "Hi, I'm Mario and Luigi's dad."
Yeah. Like when the characters came on screen, and by the way, those costumes for characters are awesome.
Yeah, they look really cool.
Those were really good.
Eyes actually move and everything.
I think he said Miyamoto said like, "Daddy's got to go. Daddy's got to go to work."
He did.
I was like, oh.
For those who don't know what we're talking about, Nintendo did most likely the final Nintendo Direct, an actual Nintendo Direct, but not really, of the year, showcasing Super Nintendo World, even though it probably should be more apt to be called Super Mario World, in the Isle of Japan.
But let them get some people in there, then they might expand it. You never know. I mean, I don't see how they couldn't expand it.
There are other things planned, and there were some, like the Dooku tree was supposed to be there.
Oh, that would be sweet.
But that got scratched as it developed.
To anybody else that actually watched it, was anybody's else like eyes getting a little tweaked out there, thinking like this can't be real, even though it actually is?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like, I was looking at the backdrop, I'm like, is that CG? Like literally, I could not tell.
Oh yeah, it was absolutely amazing. Just the. I mean, I don't know if I'd say detail, because I mean, it's like. I don't know. It was just, you could tell there was a lot of love put into this.
Oh god, yeah.
Because
this is their shots fired at Star Wars Galaxy's Edge at Disney.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, and the Galaxy's Edge was their shots fired at Wizarding World. They just keep escalating each other, and it's awesome. It's awesome.
Oh, once that park opens, that's going to be nerd haven. Like, I want to go really bad.
Oh yeah, definitely gonna be a mecca for nerds, especially in Japan. But every American nerd going, every American YouTuber nerd going, it will have to be high priority to have a video like that, and I wouldn't blame them at all. I mean, that's not me just putting a.
They're gonna have to implement the same rules that they do at Disney about people dressing up in costume.
Oh yeah,
people are going to show up in costumes.
Wait! I don't know about this rule. What's this rule?
Yeah,
you can't dress up?
If you're over a certain age, you're not allowed to dress up in a costume because people will mistake you as being a cast member for Disney.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I could totally
Except
see that. There's some
Universal
totally
has been the
play.
kind of counter to that because they want people. They allow people to come to Wizarding World dressed up in robes.
Well,
And
yeah,
I
if
also
it's
don't
as simple
think
as
that there's
just a robe,
there's people
then-
going around in the there's no one going around in the robes that work there, are there?
there are lots of people. Yeah, there are a lot of costumes and people dressed up for shows and stuff.
It's probably
All right,
allowed
that's-
until one person messes it up.
Yeah,
I
'cause,
mean,
like,
I mean,
I don't
that's
don't
just
think they're really
Universal's
gonna-
way of differentiating themselves. I think
I don't think
it's
they're really
like
going to keep anybody if like they're wearing like a Mario or Luigi shirt or something like that.
no,
That's
that's
what I'm
something
saying.
completely different. But no, they had I think it was a 20-year-old that went to Disney with her boyfriend or fiance, and she wanted to dress up as Tinkerbell. So she was dressed up as Tinkerbell and showed up, and they wouldn't let her in. And she just raised a huge stink about it. She's like, "He won't let me in because I'm dressed in a costume." It's like, you're dressed up as a character that walks around the park. You're going to get recognized as somebody that works there.
Yeah, there's a culture that's developed around that called bounding. Since they won't let adults wear costumes, that what people do is put outfits together, normal street clothes outfits that represent their characters. Like
That's fine. That's
Yeah,
perfect.
I am
fine.
learning so much
Yeah,
stuff
you'll
right
see
now
something-
about adult fandom.
But it's just seeing the work that cosplayers put into costumes. Some people don't put a lot of work. Some people put an intense amount of work.
Yeah.
And they look sometimes either the same, if not better, than these multi-million-dollar
Oh
companies.
yeah,
making
I saw
stuff.
someone cosplay as Apocalypse, the X-Men villain, and
Oh, yeah.
it looked
Oh, yeah.
exactly like the cartoon
if not
version.
better than the movie.
It was
version.
better than the movies. It was definitely better than the movies, and it was mobile, like they could move around, you know.
Yeah.
And I also saw
I've
one
seen
person.
somebody did an entire when I went to New York Comic Con years ago, and they did an entire Big Daddy and a Big Sister as well.
Yeah.
So that was intense. But yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I can see
Yeah.
why people would do that.
And I saw like a Hulkbuster Smash Iron Man once. Not like in person, you know, on the internet. And you just Google it. I'm sure you can find it. But it's just
You guys
amazing
gotta-
stuff.
We gotta go down for Dragon Con in Atlanta next year.
That would be neat.
That's a road trip that's got to happen. So
But what was everybody's favorite part of the Nintendo world, though? So
I'm
far.
actually just watching it now because I didn't get around to watching it.
I was wondering why you were a little quiet, William.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm kind of checking it out and doing the show
William's
at the same
first
time.
the first minute is William's favorite part.
I love all the detail that they put into it, but the gift shop with all that stuff is, well, it's got the coolest Nintendo-related stuff that I've ever seen. But I'd have to say, the activities are probably the coolest thing to me so far.
Yeah.
Because they utilize that band, and then you can use it to like shoot the Koopa shells up and like destroy the mannequins that they have set up and everything.
The scary part to me is when they actually do open up the American version, most likely in Florida. But
Oh, it's already confirmed to be in Florida and Singapore.
Florida
They
and
said it in the
California.
video.
Florida and California.
well, the
And
sca-
Singapore, yeah.
well, even scarier now is a thought that just popped into my head. Before I thought it was just Florida. If they start doing exclusive video game collector's editions
Oh, of course.
at that theme park.
They did it at the Nintendo World.
Yep, they did it
There's
twice.
literally one.
Yep,
So
that's why I'm scared.
that's why I was freaking out. Once they said that those bands double as amiibo, I was like, oh god, please don't do it. Please don't do it. Like I thought they were going to put like an exclusive Nintendo World amiibo, and I was about to have a heart attack.
Yeah, if they do that with like, well, I mean, any Zelda merchandise, I'd be very jealous of. But when it comes to video games, I've kind of resigned myself to be like, okay, you know, I can't buy all the Zelda merchandise, but the video games I still want to have, like every single copy, variant or whatever, at least one of. And if they pull another New York store Hyrule Warriors where it was limited to estimates of as low as 200 to as high as 600, which is still very low amount of games, and they do it just at Florida's attraction, that's going to be scary. But what if they did two versions, Florida and California? That'd be even scarier.
Hey, I doubt that's going to happen because it's both in our country. I could see them doing a version for here in America and in Japan. and that would also double over into Singapore as well.
Well, we'll
Well,
see.
you've also with Disney, they've been doing different pops at their parks.
That's the thing. Like, because of those pops, I feel like they're bound to do something. They're going to have an exclusive amiibo or
yeah, but I feel we can likely get it if we actually want it. It's like usually you're pretty good at being able to get the pops from the.
I don't know,
parks.
man, because like you remember how bad amiibos were when they first came out.
Well, that's also because they like released
park
like 5
exclusive one,
copies and then everybody wanted them.
But if they have a park exclusive one, there's people like me are literally going to die. So
I'm just gonna throw it out there. I got a guy. Y'all need this stuff like from the parks when it happens. I've got guys. Like I've got some Disney collectibles that I had people go grab me. So
I got you as my guy. Remember?
That's actually like the thing that started our friendship was me getting you that bag at Star Wars.
And I had somebody that was working at the parks, but because of the current global situation, she's no longer employed with the parks.
But thanks to John, he ended up getting me this from Galaxy's Edge. So
nice. I still want from Galaxy's Edge the Porg mug. Like all the people that have gone, I've asked them like, "Hey, can you pick this up for me?" And they haven't picked it up.
Back to Devin's question: what was your favorite part of the Direct or Nintendo World Showcase?
To me,
well, I was asking Bandana, but you can answer it.
Go on, John.
I mean, all of it. I like the stuff that's not seen to me. Like, there are 2 rides there that are open. There's a Yoshi Adventure ride.
Really
There's
based
a what?
on rides per se. It's more like the interactivity between everything.
Yeah, the 2 rides. I want to know more about. There's the Mario Kart ride where they showed the cart and the helmet, but there's also a fairly simple Yoshi ride, and then they've already got this being worked on. There will be a Donkey Kong ride.
The only thing I know about the Mario Kart is that it's got the glasses and it's going to use augmented reality for like the banana peel and the shells and all that jazz. My question is, do you keep them?
That's a good question.
The helmets? No, they're wired.
It's not a helmet, dude. It's just the glasses. Like you can see, it's got like Mario's visor, cap, and then it's just like the glasses that go down. It doesn't look like something like that. It's wired into the card or anything.
But I'll look at that later. I thought it did, but I would have to assume. I mean, if they're augmented reality, no.
When they gave us 3D glasses at Disney back when I went there in late 1989, we weren't supposed to keep the glasses a week.
Yeah, in 2020, you don't keep the 3D glasses, so I can't imagine.
No, they didn't let us. We weren't supposed to keep them, but we kept them.
Yeah.
The merch in that store. Who else really looked at that stuff? Like the shirts, the hats, everything was really cool.
That's gonna be insane. The merch is gonna be insane.
They had like this one really sick Bowser shirt that you see like it's a full art version of like Bowser right on the front, and on the back it's got the back of his Koopa shell and everything. I thought that one looked fantastic.
I got a question for Bandana because I don't think the rest of us, like you, I've seen on your Facebook feed, you go to Disney World quite a few.
Yeah, last year we were annual pass holders.
Okay.
And the last thing I did before quarantine was go to Disney World.
Okay, so you go to Disney World a lot. Does anybody, Devin or William, do you guys go to Disney World a lot?
I've never been.
Okay. I've only been once, and that was years ago.
All right, I've been twice. Once when I was a kid, and then once as an uncle. But my question to you is, do you go to Disney World for the rides, or do you go to Disney World for the immersion into the experience of Disney?
Yes.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Well, no, because Cedar Point, for example, if you guys don't know what Cedar Point is, Cedar Point is like a roller coaster theme park. And it's just rides. There's really no culture around Cedar Point, or maybe even Six Flags. There's no culture around those places. It's all about the rides. But to me, Disney doesn't seem to their rides doesn't seem to be And granted, I haven't been there in a long time. Their rides don't seem to be like crazy cool or crazy intense. Are they? Am I wrong?
Yeah. Well, it depends. I mean, they have a wide variety. So for me, like I like theme parks in general. I just like that kind of staging and stuff. And Disney does it the best. Universal a close second. Their rides, it depends on which ones. Like I really like the fact their rides tell a story. At Cedar Point and stuff, you have great roller coasters, and sometimes they have a theming, but like, you're going up a hill, you're going down the hill, you're twirling. Mm-hmm. And that's a great experience. But if you want to talk about amazing ride experiences, what they opened, I guess they opened that last year. Star Wars: Rise of the Resistance is one of the most intense, amazing storytelling experiences I have ever seen. Mickey's, the new ride they opened before they locked down, Mickey's Runaway Railway. One of the most amazing visual experiences, just because like you are transported into this cartoon and the world like is cartoon, and it is. So I really like those two. But like, if you want thrill, they have like Rock and Roller Coaster, which is a quick launch indoor loopy roller coaster themed to Aerosmith. There's Tower of Terror, which is a really cool drop ride, which tells a story. I think that's my biggest thing, and why I like Disney so much is they tell stories. Almost everything there is to tell a story.
Okay, but why do you go multiple times? I get it. Okay, wow, that was a really crazy experience. But like after you've done it 3 times, like what draws you back? Because this is what Nintendo World has to have. These Nintendo World, the Mario Kart or whatever, they're probably going to be great rides, but like if they were separate from the Nintendo experience, then you might not do it again, or might not have that urge to go again. Nintendo has to capture this, because like Disney World is an experience, and people talk about Disney World but they don't necessarily. They talk about Disney World first and the rides second, and that's what Nintendo has to capture. They have to capture that ability for you to talk about Nintendo World first and the rides second.
I think Universal has done that in a way, because, like I said, their Harry Potter stuff kind of initiate, because they had the Wizarding World of Harry Potter in all the parks, and those are such intensive experiences. Like, it's all one thing. Like, there are several intense rides in the Harry Potter stuff, but you do talk about go into the Wizarding World of Harry Potter if you're in that nerddom. I don't see. I think Nintendo World is going to be the same. Looking at what their plans are for America, which is in Orlando, they are opening a third park for this, and alongside Mario or Nintendo, that Orlando will have the biggest Super Nintendo World. It'll open with an exclusive ride, and then it's going to open in a park that has Universal Monster Land. It's going to have How to Train Your Dragon, and a new version of a new Harry Potter extension. I think, what was the other thing? There was one more. Oh, but I don't think that's going to be a problem. The amount of immersion, because like I said, they're one-upping. When you go to Galaxy's Edge at Disney, you're in Star Wars. Like, it is just jaw-drop. Like, you don't feel like you're in a park. You are in Star Wars, and the rides are a part of that experience.
Dave, go on.
No worries. I think Universal is going to be able to do that with Nintendo Land from everything I'm seeing.
David, did you first off, don't do any spoilers on The Mandalorian. What's his name? Hasn't seen it yet.
What's his name?
Well, you're wearing a hat today, not a bandana, so I don't recognize you.
Yeah, the Beandana gamer.
What did you see the Super Nintendo Direct?
I only saw
Nintendo World Direct.
I only saw the Bowser's Castle segment. I kind of jumped in a little bit late, so yeah.
I watched it afterwards, so now you feel.
Anything super exciting about it, or you want to see there, or what? Like,
I think
You were at Japan, but do you kind of regret not going next year instead of this year?
Not
Well,
really.
it's gonna be open in February. It's not that far off.
Yeah, I'm not like a um, amusement park kind of guy anyway. So, but I really appreciate its crafts, like the its craftsmanship of it. I like what they did with the Bowser's Castle. That's the only thing I saw. It looks pretty cool. But I'm kind of like, okay, cool.
Ronald in the chat was asking if it's a temporary thing. I don't think it's temporary. I think it's a permanent fixture.
It's a permanent fixture. It is something
I don't
they
think
are.
they would put that much detail and that much time into it if it was not permanent.
Well, you know how some of the Disney stuff, what they do. So,
I mean, maybe some of the rides could
do the same thing.
Yeah, maybe some of the rides later on they'd retool or whatever, but they probably don't need to. And like, you know, like Epcot needed to eventually upgrade or update, but like Super Mario Kart, I mean, there's not really much to really update with it.
Yeah, they're always updating rides.
I can see them adding a space area and have it include Metroid, Kirby, and like Pikmin maybe.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. Like they're definitely going to update that as time goes on.
Well, will they have space
specifically holding to just Mario?
Maybe not. What if they don't have the space for it? I mean, you got to like kind of plan a lot of this stuff in the way future. You can't just be like, you know what? Let's tear down the Bowser's Castle and throw in Hyrule Castle.
You really don't. Yeah, you need to stay up on theme park news. They destroy stuff that is beloved all the time.
Oh, really?
Tower of Terror became Galaxy Breakout real fast. Like they dumped that thing.
The original, isn't the Bates Motel no longer around?
Yeah. Oh, Universal will cash something out quick.
Yeah. The Jaws ride's no longer around.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I stand corrected then. But yeah, temporarily, no, I don't. As a whole, Nintendo World is here to stay.
That'll be there for at least 20 years in some form, at least.
Aiden Martin, hello, how are you? Guys, if to change the subject, if you had it's Christmas season, next week is Christmas, right? Is it next week?
Yes.
Friday, is it Friday or is it Saturday? I don't know which one
Friday.
it is.
It's Friday.
So it will be Christmas by the time we see each other next. If you had a Christmas wish list for Nintendo, what would it be? I'm not saying like I wish I could get this game for Christmas. No, Nintendo. Like you get a Nintendo Christmas wish miracle, and
to ask them directly.
Yeah, you can like do something, and nothing crazy like I don't know. Last of Us 2 on the Nintendo Switch. You can't do that. But you can do something.
A working copy of Cyberpunk working on the Switch.
Yes, yeah. that would be godly miracle.
2 frames per second.
What would your Christmas wish be?
Go on, John.
I've been talking too much. I think, since David is probably actually waiting for Santa, I think we need to get David's thoughts first.
I think that if we maybe get something on the next Switch iteration sometime next year.
So your wish is a Switch Pro?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's time for some new hardware. It just I have that feeling.
A Pro or a successor?
Both. Well, a successor can also mean like just the next iteration, which could also just be like a slim model, right? I don't think I want another slim model. I want like a nice upgrade to it.
He wants them. He got that 4K TV. He wants Mario in all the Ks.
All right.
Yeah, I want just whatever they have next. They're cooking something. I'm sure they've been cooking something for the last couple of years. I'd like to see that. I'd like to see what they have in store for us. Whether it's January 1st or March or just something early on, just to kind of, because it's going to be 4 years here in about 3 months. So
yeah, but they've been the top selling console for 24 months.
Yeah.
So they don't really need to do that. But that's your Christmas wish. That's your Christmas wish. What about you, William?
I want them to bring back Star Tropics.
Star Tropics, okay.
I really want Star Tropics back, even if it's a big, massive open world game. Like maybe even take like the size of Zelda, the size of Breath of the Wild, and then expand that even out farther by adding water. No, maybe give the exploration, like more exploration that Wind Waker had, but give the land mass the same type of mass that Breath of the Wild has, so it's a much bigger map.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but Breath of the Wild is the closest thing Nintendo has done to an open world, correct?
As far as I can tell, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so we got Star Tropics, we got a Switch Pro /2, Rat Boy. Ronald says he wants Gino in Smash Brothers, playable.
Yeah,
not just a
I
character.
really wanted him. I'm tired. I'm tired of the people harassing the people who want Gino. Sakurai wants him in as well. So I'm so tired of people say, well, no one wants the character. Yes, people want the character.
There's enough people saying it that definitely.
I'm tired of those of us that want Gino being treated like those that beg for Goku.
I'm still hashtag justice for Waluigi. So
and the people like, oh, let's put Shrek in there.
Too much of that. But anyway.
JR Magician is all he wants for Christmas is you. Which of us though?
Thank you for the song terrorism. Okay, now that's going to be stuck in my head for days.
So DJ Cummerbund actually did a mashup of that song.
Thank you.
It's a mashup of that and what the hell is that artist that all the millennials like these days? The Billie Eilish or whatever her name is.
Eilish, yeah.
Eilish. That it's one of her songs.
Okay.
William, as you said that, were there kids on your lawn that you just got mad at? Like...
Recently, kinda.
Okay.
No,
between David, we have David like robbing the cradle, and then we have William robbing the grave. Like that's how I feel like this is going.
So loading ready run does this. Apparently, they do this joke video each time a new system comes out, claiming saying that they have 5 of a system, and they actually have 5 of a system in the video. And they did a video of I've got 5 PlayStation 5s, and people are just posting it just to get people all mad. And then they're like, "Oh well, it's a joke. Why don't you guys like jokes?" It's like, no, this isn't the type of joke that's funny to those of us who aren't millennials.
Yeah.
No, at least the Three Stooges was funny, but they weren't sitting there stoned off their butts hitting each other.
True.
No, that's apparently what's funny these days.
Anyway,
you could make an argument that the Three Stooges weren't funny though.
At the time, they were. That was comedy.
Rat Boy.
Okay, well, yeah, this probably will never happen, but I would love to see these games remade or possibly a new one.
What type of game is The Lost Vikings?
I don't know how else to explain it, but yeah, it's like basically a puzzle game, side-scrolling puzzle game.
From the art, it gave me a Lemmings feel, but
well, each of the Vikings had a special ability. This one had a shield for blocking. This one, I forgot exactly what he could do.
There was one that could jump higher.
Yeah, he could jump, and then I think the one with the red beard could attack, and that you had to use all 3 of them to be able to get through the level and get out, because they were like abducted by aliens or some crazy stuff, but it's such a fun game. I would love to see this come back.
It could show up on the Miko if Tommy could get the rights to it.
Dude, I would love that. But go on.
Okay, Bandana, how about you?
I think low hanging fruit. I want a robust celebration of Zelda's 35th.
I think that's pretty much already in the cards. Like, if they don't do that, I would be surprised.
Dude, it's Nintendo, man. Like, how many times have we expected them to go right and they went like up? Yeah.
Well, but they eventually end up where we think they're going to end up.
And then did a barrel roll.
Yeah. And I think, like I'm gonna go with a big wish. I would love for them to like just surprise open Super Mario World in Orlando. Just be like, hey, by the way, it's kind of like what was that movie, Contact? Like, oh, by the way, we built another one.
Like, while you guys were watching the Japanese one, we were building one in America.
And by the way, we have a Star Fox ride.
Right, it's an actual.
We have a T-Rex.
Imagine that was the last thing that they had. The guy who voiced the rabbit do is like voice something for that ride.
Yeah,
I forget the rabbit's name.
Peppy,
yeah, because he just passed away a little while ago. That would be interesting.
If I had a wish, I would say, we'll go off your analogy. The low-hanging fruit, just Breath of the Wild 2 in 2021. But if I had like a grander wish, it would either be like a new RPG from Nintendo or just bring back Advance Wars. Advance Wars was just, it's by the people who did Fire Emblem, kind of the same fighting system of, turn-based strategy. I just really enjoyed it, and I actually probably even like it better than Fire Emblem, and I'm a big Fire Emblem fan. Yeah,
and that series, like, with each system it was on, it was named after the system. So, Game Boy Advance, that's why it was called Advance Wars.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and then they just kind of kept the name. Yeah, I think it was NES Wars. Famicom Wars was the original one.
I didn't know that either.
But yeah, if it came out on the Switch, they'd probably call it like Switch Wars or something.
Well, I know it came out on the DS, and they still called it Advance Wars. It was like Advance
Wars. Yes, they did, because that was the name that people in the US were more associated with. But I think if they released it in Japan, they'd call it Switch Wars, and over here they might still call it Advance Wars.
Oh. Yeah, well, either way, that would be my wish. Just trying to pull back. I could see another good one would be a Golden Sun. That'd be a cool one to bring back from the past. But
another Golden Sun would be kind of cool.
Say again?
I said another Golden Sun would be kind of cool. Now, I don't know if this is like a Mandela effect or something like that, but was it Golden Sun that was the Game Boy cartridge that if you played it outside, there was actually something that would like...
No, that's Bokai.
Okay.
I have no idea what you're talking about. What are you talking about?
Yeah, that's Bokai, the sun's in your hands or something like that.
It had something in the cartridge that sensed sunlight or something like that, UV light of some sort, and it would react with the game somehow. I could never remember.
You charged your weapon with sunlight.
That's weird.
Because your weapon was based off of sunlight.
Well, that was also back in the same time that they made Kirby Tilt and Tumble on the Game Boy, and I loved that game. That was so cool.
Yeah, so I could never really play the game because I was never really outside, and like I had to like get near a window to try to get the sunlight to charge up the weapon if I wanted to do that. But I got the first. I don't think I got the second game.
I don't even remember. I thought it was Golden Sun. I couldn't even remember what the heck it was called.
No, Golden Sun was the RPG. Which the second Golden Sun, the text on that cartridge is so small you can barely tell which game is which.
True. Oh, there's another thing that I would want. Another Wario Land game.
A Wario Land game? That'd be a good one.
I actually want to try to find Wario Land Shake It again because I adore that game.
I think I got it. I'm pretty sure I got it.
I used to have it, but that was part of the games that I left in my old house when I had unfortunately had to leave it. So, but I would love to see Wario again. No, I like WarioWare. I just prefer Wario Land, which I'm still waiting on that, William.
I know.
I know.
A lot of stuff going on.
Did you guys talk about the Indie World showcase?
No, actually, no, I haven't.
The fact that
I didn't even know about it.
On is still blowing my mind.
Yeah, for some reason that's such a no-brainer, and I didn't even think of that.
I heard rumors that it was going to come to the Xbox and the PS4. I'm like, oh man, I want a Switch version, and all of a sudden, that's the first one that shows up.
I think you can play it on the PlayStation, right?
Yeah, it's on the PlayStation and Android.
but
And
Xbox
Switch.
and
We talked about PlayStation. It's not on PlayStation yet.
I thought it was on the PlayStation.
I think it is on the PlayStation.
You guys are
I
drunk.
know it's on PC.
It's
Yeah.
PC and Android right now. It's not on any consoles besides the Switch.
Really?
And it's been announced for Game Pass at some point, but I think it was just PC Game Pass.
And for some reason, I remember my friend telling me that she was playing it on PS4. But maybe
There's ways that people have hacked it on the consoles, but it's
Oh.
not in any official form on the consoles except for the Switch yet.
Oh, okay. I guess I'm totally wrong. I just Googled it, and you're right.
Yeah.
I don't know why I thought that.
I was thinking of Genshin Impact, which is a different game.
Yeah, everybody. I've still heard so many people talking about the game, and I don't know if I care.
Has anyone actually played Among Us? I haven't.
I've never played a single game. Yeah.
I bought it because
It's not a game I would play.
pressured me.
Huh?
Well, it is a fun game. I think so.
What, like, the premise, if I'm wrong, the premise is there's like 4 or 6 people, different colored people.
10.
What?
There's 10.
There's 10. Okay.
10 max party.
And there's 1 or more like traitors that are trying to like destroy and kill the ship and the people in it, and you got to figure out who, right?
Yeah, it's a social deduction game. There's the imposters and the crewmates. So the imposters will have a list of tasks that they can go on, but they can't actually do any of them. So you just have to make it look like you're doing something. And the crewmates have to finish their tasks before the imposters kill them all. So that's the whole point of it. And it's a social deduction game. So if you see one of them being killed, you smash the emergency meeting button and then start calling each other out. And you could perfectly fine just shoot somebody else off into space and not even know that they weren't the imposter. So it's really fun when you have a good party of people playing it.
If I'm the imposter, can I just accuse somebody of?
Yes, you can self-report.
How would
you can go up and stab William and they'd be like, well, John did it.
How would people like know if I was lying or not?
I guess that's the point of it, is that it throws a wrench into people's logic. I don't know. I mean,
yeah, it's a fun game. I mean, maybe it's not fantastic, but it is a fun game.
But William totally did it.
Ken, I love how you try to get to the bottom of things. Just play it, man. I mean, I haven't played it, so now that it's on the Switch, I think it'd be cool if we all did, you know?
It's only $5 though. Like they have so much potential of what they could do to this game. I understand some people can be getting bored of it, but there's 4 different maps, a tons of stuff to do with it, and for $5, it's like even if you played it like 3 times, you got your money's worth out of it.
Yeah.
I do know some people were like, I mean, you're always gonna get complainers, but let's give them a little validity here and discuss it. Why is it $5 on the Switch and not on Android? Why is it free on Android?
Because you have ads on Android.
Okay.
And
when it comes to titles that people play on cell phones, they don't really want to pay money for stuff.
But you can purchase it to be able to get the ads to go away, and that's still $5.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So
I hear that the quality,
all the boards.
Yeah.
I hear that the quality of life things on like PC are a little bit more accessible. Like I think they say it's easier to type
Well,
on
yeah,
PC,
it is easier to type because you have to open up the menu and everything.
which makes your gameplay experience a little bit better because I think there's something with like the rate at which you communicate can also enhance your experience. Whereas like if you were on mobile, I guess that's hindered a little bit. I don't know. This is all stuff that
if you have like a good team playing it, and like you have a lot of people that are actually paying attention to the game. If you're not like typing and actually engaging in the meeting process, they'll be like, "Well, he's not talking. He could have done it," and blah blah blah. It just goes down a rabbit hole real quick.
EPS 5000 posted this. I only play Among Us on mobile. I refuse to pay $5 for a all capital letters free game. But thinking about that, what are your guys' thoughts on that? Like, this just totally like, because I mean, the developers, like, they got to get paid somehow. Like
that's the thing. Like, back when Mario Run came out, I was astounded at how many people were like, well, why should I have to pay for a cell phone game? Am I like the only one that remembers that you had to pay for cell phone games at one point? Like every single one of them? There was not one free game?
Yeah.
I mean, just because there's free games now doesn't mean that like there's quality stuff that people are absolutely not paying attention to because they're free or because they have to pay for them. Mario Run is a fun game. It's not like a gigantic game that you need to spend $60 on, but it was worth the $10. Same thing with Among Us. It is worth the money. If you're not playing it every single day, it's not a Breath of the Wild style game where you're going to be playing it for hours on end. But if you have the right people and the right party to play it with, it can be fun. And I feel like a lot of people don't pay attention to it because of that.
Has anybody here paid for a game that is free?
Yes.
Well, I mean, do you count buying Among Us on Switch? I mean, because it's not free there.
Yeah. Has anyone played Fire Emblem Warriors?
Yes.
Heroes.
Okay. Has anybody like bought anything from them? No. I'm trying to think. Or Pokemon Go or anything like that.
The game is free, but you have the in-game purchases, stuff like that. I mean, I would have bought Pokemon Go if it was a full game that you could actually have purchased and not have to buy it.
I mean, Among Us, as you pointed out, like is free, but they're getting their money through the ad revenue.
Yeah, they're getting money no matter what.
That's the draws right there. I'm like, and that's how different developers monetize things. Like Pokemon Go is the items you can buy, and things like that. So I have put money into. I think I put money into Pokemon Go.
I have.
Just because I generally like if I'm really enjoying a free to play game, and I have to really, really, really be enjoying a free to play game, I will throw some money its way.
Hey Hunter, what's up?
Niantic, or the Nintendo app games, like the mobile games, do they have ads inherently built into them? Like, do you see things pop up and you're just like, oh, let me accept?
Not really.
it?
Like Pokemon Go, you don't really get ads in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
From what I remember of Animal Crossing, whenever it was Pocket Camp.
Pocket Camp has a subscription service thing that you can go into.
And you can buy, like, make stuff go quick also, but no ads.
But no ads. Okay, yeah. So, well, I guess that's part of it. I think that maybe, I don't know, how would you guys feel if, okay, so let me just give a scenario here, but Super Mario Run, 2 years ago or 3 years ago when it was released, is free. You download it, but it's every time you finish a level, there's like 3 ads that you have to close out of or whatever. Versus the reality, which is Super Mario Run is $10, $9.99, but 0 ads. What do you prefer? Like, do you're loading up the app and you want to play for maybe 10, 15 minutes while you're waiting at the DMV or whatever. Seeing what Nintendo is and what they offer and their identity and their philosophy and all that. I mean, can you envision playing Super Mario Run with ads in it, or would you be like, Nintendo deserves my $10, which would give me an ad-free experience, and also I'm pretty much paying for quality because it's a DNA and Nintendo made app. I mean, what do you? I guess we can go through everybody. What would you like to see?
Who first?
One of the things I like when it comes to ads, what they should do, like certain games, ads can work in a game without them being intrusive. And one I could think of is a Grand Theft Auto game where you're standing in the city, you look up at a billboard, the billboard has an ad on it. That's something you see in real life. So why not have it programmed that if you're online, that billboard will show an ad for a product?
Yeah.
Or even in like Mario Kart, where you've got the signs like around some of the tracks.
Technically,
have...
we had a real life ad in Mario Kart 8 because there was a Mercedes-Benz car.
Right.
Yes, but that's the type of thing I'm thinking of. Why not make them that they can be swapped out at any time?
But you can't do that with every game. I mean, imagine
No,
like
but there's
all
some
of them,
games
but
where you could do that, and I think that's one of the best ways that a company could go about doing ads, if it fits with what the game is.
Well, I mean, the ad pay model though for apps has to be intrusive because they get paid on interaction.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And so if you put them in game like that, you're kind of encouraging people not to interact
That's
with
true.
them. Like, I mean, most ads are click on. It's not just go to Walmart and buy X. It's
Kind of like how right now, I don't know if anybody else has noticed YouTube. There's a lot of ads now.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm watching a 10-minute video and I get 3 sets of ads within that video. It's like, that's ridiculous.
It is, but on the other hand, I guess, if you do have a creator that is like, I have mixed feelings on like someone who's just a YouTube creator for their like job, because I don't know, maybe it's envy, but on the other hand, it like, I just like, is YouTube really a job? But if you don't have people who are like, your patrons, which again is another thing I'm like, I don't know about that, but let's just assume that everything is okay. Patreon and this and that and whatever. I mean, people donate on this channel, and I gladly accept it. But if nobody donates on this channel, then the only way to like get revenue is through ads. And it's like, if a person that you enjoy, we'll just say Spawn Wave. This is a guy who just literally just every morning posts news article, or he does 20 minutes of news, and this has become his day job. It's like, he's not asking you really. I mean, he has it where you can pay him, but he's not really just asking you to pay him. But having those commercials is a way to, support him and the enjoyment that you receive from watching him.
Mm-hmm.
Does that so? I mean, it's a balancing act, just like Among Us. As we were talking about, Among Us is free because they have ads.
But it's only on the cell phone that way, though.
Yeah, or you can just bypass that. And the way to bypass it on YouTube is to actually buy a YouTube subscription. And then every time you do watch Spawn Wave, he automatically gets some money because you are part of the subscription. So it's like, I get it. I definitely don't like 5-minute non-skippable commercials.
Try an hour-long commercial, but at least it could be skipped.
Yeah.
There's been stuff coming up where there's like a 50-minute long documentary coming up as an ad.
Yes,
for YouTube.
was it King Henry VIII?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Off topic. Henry or Hunter's sister. Hello, hi, how are you? Yeah. So like the ad thing, it goes on every platform, really. I think, whether it's digital or it's kind of a necessarily evil.
Well, I think for a smaller developer, ads are generally more beneficial to get you noticed in a crowded place, because that way you can offer your game for free.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we have something like Among Us without its initial ad support.
Yeah, that's what I agree with that, because I don't think Among Us would have gotten as much love as it did if they didn't initially put it on the cell phone for free. Because and things like TikTok have also jumped that game up in popularity as well.
Yeah,
but I agree with I hate ads, but then I also agree with them being there at some points too. But I also hate them because I grew up with my dad's old cell phone, when he would let me play games on it, and he would buy the games. In my first cell phone, I would buy all the games that I had. I grew up knowing that, okay, I purchased the game and I just played it. There was nothing there. So that's why I don't like the fact that when people are whining, well, why should I have to buy the game? Well, we all did.
Well, and that goes back to my question. I don't think anybody actually answered it. So Would you prefer Super Mario Run, like just as that example, right? For free, but it has ads after every level, and it's pretty much riddled with ads. Or paying $10, giving it to a company that you trust and you understand that you have quality coming out of it, but with no ads.
$10 for sure.
There's another model which is free with microtransactions,
which is all of Nintendo's games except
Mario. And I have interacted more with Nintendo's games that have microtransactions than I have with Mario Run, just because I eventually hit a wall, and I am not enjoying it enough to pump the $10 in.
Did you guys sidebar? Did you guys see that some little kid spent like $16,000 on one of the Sonic mobile games?
I did.
And with that, I say, why did you even give the kid the opportunity to be able to do that in the first place?
Well, I see parents mindlessly giving kids this, right? Because it's like, hey, this stops Jimmy from making noise. And I think that it obviously it does come down to the parent in a way, because, well, you have your credit card linked to the thing. But then again, kids are cunning, dude. They are so smart, man. They know exactly what they're doing, you know?
I was gonna say, if my Game Boy had that option, I might have accidentally run up some bills. I mean, that's the thing.
If Jimmy knows that by this is gonna have a source to take away his, that occupies his attention span, it's akin to me, 5-year-old me, stealing AA batteries from AutoZone because I wanted to keep playing my Game Boy.
Did he get a refund, that mom or dad? I can't remember who.
Did what?
Did they get a refund? The Sonic player, kid, mom, parents?
I didn't read much into, and I don't even think the article really covered that. But
because I know Amazon, I know there are some people that will actually refund if it's something ridiculous like that.
Yeah, and go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I agree with Ken. I think most cases especially because that's kind of on the fault of the developer, because they made it too. I'm taking it at the kid as the kid accidentally did it. Like, oh, that skin looks really cool. I want my thing to look like that. Not perceiving the value of it. I think generally that falls on the developer who has advertised something poorly to children and then given them access to it in a way they don't understand.
I think this is maybe a little bit, I don't know if it's outdated, but if you guys remember back in 2013 with Flappy Bird,
no, God.
The developer was Dong Nguyen, and he said that he just started doing something pretty much out of his basement, right? Just like a hobby. He made an app, and it went viral, and all of a sudden it went from, I think the article said something about, it was a quote from him, and it said, I went from making like $250 a day to $50,000 a day, and it just messed with his mind a little bit, his sense of morality or whatever, and it ultimately led for him to pull the game away from the App Store. So that's why there are only, if you go on eBay, there are still like iPhone 4s that have the game pre-installed, kind of like PT style with like PS4s.
I have no sympathy for that, man. None.
Yeah,
I have no sympathy for that, man. Poor him getting $50,000 a day.
Well, I mean,
I'll accept $250 a day.
Sure, yeah. I guess people view, I don't know, that he just view his success a different way. Like he was making something that was mindless. I mean, it's a bird that makes a stupid sound when it hits a Mario pipe. I mean, it's a pretty mindless game. But then again, it's that game, I don't think had any ads, but at the same time, it was a viral sensation. So everybody was playing it, right? So,
I think he also had a problem with the amount of fame he got. Like, he was getting harassed fairly frequently about how, like, he was running into more than just like, oh, my pants don't have enough room for the coins I have now. Like, he was getting some toxicity.
Yeah, and he's
like, you know what? I don't want this in my life.
Stay off Twitter. I still have no sympathy for the man.
I think he was well, Dong Nguyen sounds Vietnamese, right? So I think he was from like this, not even like like Ho Chi Minh City. I think he was like from like a very remote city in Vietnam making this game. So I guess that I don't know. I mean, I don't know the dude, but I know people view success differently. Yeah, it'd be nice getting $50,000 a day, but I guess when you're poor.
Give me that for a week, and then I'll retire also. To answer your question though, David, about the ads, I would say both. Honestly, just have that model available. Allow doing Among Us is doing a free version and a paid ad version. That would be cool with me. I did buy Mario Run, but I bought it when it was 50% off, so for $5. And in my mind, $10 would have been worth it as well. It was an okay game, blah, blah, blah. Support the people. Again, how are they going to make money? And I looked at it more as an investment into Nintendo than anything else, just showing, hey, we support you. But if I had a choice, I would have played it for free and watched the ads, because I was a big Plants vs. Zombies fan, or I am, I guess. I don't play the shooter version. I played Plants vs. Zombies 1, Plants vs. Zombies 2, and I never paid for any of the extras in it, but I would watch the ads, because if you planted stuff in your garden, and if you watched an ad, you could water that garden quicker. So, they had ways that you could... I mean, sometimes they would make you watch an ad, but it was almost like they had ways so you didn't even have to watch the ad at all, but they would entice you to watch the ad by allowing upgrades or whatever. And I thought that was a pretty good model. I ended up never paying for anything on Plants vs. Zombies, and yet I know that game was highly successful in generating cash.
Yeah.
So I'd be cool if Nintendo did that or anything. But I have but I would never look down on someone like, oh, you paid $5 for a free game, because it's at the end of the day, it's supporting the developer.
Yeah, I agree there. But
so we got 3 minutes. Who's going to throw a topic out there?
What are you guys thinking about the fact that Cyberpunk was taken off the PS Store?
Well, I wouldn't have bought it digitally anyways, so it doesn't really factor
I
in.
agree there. I was hearing people saying, is this going to turn into a PT situation where somebody have Cyberpunk on their PlayStation can sell it now?
No, because you can still buy it physically.
Yeah,
so
but
I don't
then they're
see...
also having Best Buy stores doing return policies where you can return the open game, which is also telling me that it might turn into something like E.T. for the Atari, where we're going to find a landfill full of copies of Cyberpunk eventually.
No, I say take any CD you don't want and turn it into a beer coaster.
That's a very $60 beer coaster is.
Well,
yeah.
I'm thinking do it with the old AOL startup discs.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I don't know how I feel about it, because here's the thing. On one hand, I don't like when people... It's hard to say because I don't like, when a fan base can outcry and just bully their way to something. But then again, sometimes maybe it is good. I mean,
well, it is good.
Sonic
Look at
better,
the Sonic movie.
Yeah.
The Sonic movie went from complete crap to actually pretty cool.
Well, maybe, because wait a second, because it didn't change any of the acting. So all it changed was a visual.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it did way
Would the movie have sucked that visual was
I think that it was just the visual change, but when you find out who was behind it, it just really changed the essence of the movie, right?
It really did.
I think the Sonic movie was a new Coke situation. I think they purposely rolled out a bad Sonic and made the fans feel empowered so they would get behind that movie when they actually released the actual thing.
That's marketing genius right there, dude.
It could be,
I think that is so the thing.
But that also could have led to an absolute train wreck, because if they screwed that up, what else are they going to screw up?
I guess all chips on black at that point, right?
made the fan base feel heard. And man, if you make white nerdy dudes feel heard, you've got money,
dude. White Sonic nerdy dudes, man. Like when you have them back up something, you have them for life, dude. So it worked out for them.
Yeah.
Would that movie have been that bad though? I mean, like I said, all the acting, everything was there.
Some people probably upset that their OC wasn't in the movie.
Huh?
I would argue that movie, without the hype of the fandom getting excited to be behind it, would have maybe broke even. Maybe. Like
now a sequel's greenlit, and now we're probably going to get an even more polished and better second movie, in my opinion. You know, I mean, hopefully the studio can see, hey, it matters whenever you have a change like this when it comes to the art department.
Or that they figured out a way to manipulate people. Like, hey, let's give them a bad version, and then we'll make them think of really weak.
Because movie studios are very dismissive. They'll use a team for a first movie and then just completely disregard them for the second one, and they don't quite grasp what made the first one great. And so I'm glad that I follow the director on Twitter, Jeff Fowler, and it seems like he's keeping the same team for the second one, and they've already gotten to work, so now they have like more time to actually make a great second movie to this.
Well,
I think so.
anyways, what I was saying though, I'm glad that Sonic ended up looking better. But so that was a case that the fan outcry did help, and and I've been there, but remember the fan outcry against Heath Ledger as the Joker. And even I was like, Heath Ledger is the Joker. He doesn't look like the Joker. And I had to eat my words on that one. So the fan outcry on
the new Batman.
No, Cyberpunk, whatever you're talking about.
Yeah, but people are complaining about the new Batman too. And it's like, just give it a chance.
I think he looked good as Batman.
Yeah, I love it.
Go on with what you're saying, Ken.
I didn't like the idea of Ben Affleck as Batman, and I was proven right on that one, though. Just for the
record. I liked him. I like
Batman. Not me. But for Cyberpunk, it's just like, I don't know. It's like, you didn't have to buy the game. You already kind of, you could have waited.
I mean,
why? Because you didn't get
CD Projekt Red did some sketchy stuff.
But
they
still,
did, but I'm also not saying game does not have as much crap going on as people are saying.
You just didn't have to buy the game, though. Why is it why should Best Buy offer a return policy? Why should it be taken down from the PlayStation Store? PlayStation is trying to do quality control on their thing, fine, but
PlayStation should have done that quality control a lot sooner.
Yeah, why did it have to be an
outlet? I don't know if it's.
I just don't. I think that the fans are being entitled on this one because they did not have to buy the game to begin with. I mean, maybe this goes all the way back to when I had to buy. Maybe it's just this old timer and me. I mean, I bought a ton of crap games in the past that I didn't get a refund on.
I think there's crap and then there's broken. And there's
a ton of people who bought Superman 64 and didn't get a refund.
So I bought the Bouncer a week after it came out. And when I went into the store to pick it up, they insisted, do not buy a new copy. Buy the used copy. Then if you don't like it, you can just return it. No, I bought the new copy. I still have that copy to this day. I enjoyed the game. The Bouncer.
Oh, God.
On the PlayStation 2. It was it was one of those titles that people brought back the next day after they bought it.
Well, either way, let's just pretend there's not a GameStop in the area that you're allowed to do that.
is a horrible game, and that's actually one of my favorite PS1 games.
I don't care if all of the hate is 100% accurate. I just don't think that Cyberpunk, you still had the power to buy it or not buy it.
Mm-hmm. And I'm holding off till they do the PlayStation 5 version.
Well, I think CD was also
what? I keep seeing a twitch on your face when I say these comments.
I think CD was in between a rock and a hard place, especially towards the end, because every time that they announced a delay, there was fan outcry like, oh, not another delay, right? So they felt like for the next thing, they just had to. At that point, I felt like they just wanted to get it out there.
Well, they shouldn't have caved. They shouldn't have caved to the fan outcry. I mean, either though.
I don't think it's the fan outcry. I think it's investors. I think that is way more important to a company like CD Projekt Red. Like,
Yeah, you're probably right there.
They had investors that were like, "Hey, we have sunk." I mean, it's a lot of money. The game does a lot,
but those investors are now trying to sue them. They're going to get rolled.
Yeah, I mean, they're having to take it back now because of people's and I mean, that's kind of the thing. They didn't release any information about the base consoles, and that's kind of where you get into the thing. Like, you were led to believe that the game would be a different experience than what you're getting, and I think that.
How are they like to the investors or to the consumer?
Well, there's questions of did they perpetuate fraud to the consumer, which then screws over the investors, because now the investors are like, oh crap, we're having to buy these games back.
All right, let's leave the investors out of this. Let's leave the investors, because that's a whole different like argument in regards to just economics and whatever. And I have no dog in the fight. Like, I don't have Cyberpunk. I never wanted Cyberpunk. I couldn't even play Cyberpunk if I had the ability to. So like, I literally have no dog in this fight. Did Project whatever they are purposely like mislead the consumer? So if that's the case, then yeah, I can see, okay, yes, let's have refunds. But
you only had review copies of the PC version. That's was all that was got reviewed before the game came out. You never saw actual screen and footage from base consoles, and you were kind of given the impression that the experience would be unified, at least in terms of frame rate. And I mean,
how were you given the impression?
The advertising for the game,
like, it seems no different. It seems like I should just assume the PlayStation 5 version is going to be better than the PlayStation 4 version.
Yeah, but that's the thing, is like, because they didn't show anything from the PS4 and the Xbox One X, they showed only the stuff from the PC. So that's why I'm saying, from the perspective of playing on a PS4 Pro, there's a couple glitches here and there, but it's playable.
But so what if they only showed it? Unless they said this is footage from the PS4.
This is a game that is going below the quality control measures that people are saying is broken and fundamentally unplayable. I think that, it's not just like, oh, this doesn't look great. This is like, to some people's experience. And I will say, I have not put my copy in. I did buy a copy, but I got distracted with Miles Morales, which is a great game. But like, if you lied about the experience you're going to have and put out a super broken game that is unplayable, I think it is right to have a refund, and that's what people's experience has been.
And weren't they, whenever they were asked about the status and quality of the game, they didn't disclose the base models, right?
Yeah, and they regularly said you're going to have the same experience
on base PS4 and base Xbox.
Okay, if there are actual blatant lies, then I agree. But if it's just people being like,
my understanding, I have not researched it. There are blatant lies about how it was going to perform on base units.
Okay, then I could see people wanting refunds and getting refunds. But if it is literally just a scenario where, well, maybe you should just waited a week after people bought it to see if you should have played it, then like again, Outer Worlds. I wanted to play Outer Worlds on the Switch, but I waited till it came out and looked at reviews and whatnot. And I do come from a time.
I like it on the Switch.
Huh?
I mean,
I like the Outer Worlds on the Switch.
I just heard ultimately the reason why I didn't buy it was because it's a first party, or it's a first person perspective. But I've heard really bad negative things about it on the Switch. But if it's just a case of I bought a game, I don't like the game because it doesn't like meet the expectations that I held for it, then I wouldn't. I mean, Smash Brothers Brawl didn't meet the expectations I held for it, but I still kept the game.
But Smash Brothers Brawl doesn't drop below 15 frames per second and becomes unplayable. I mean, there's a game I don't like, which I'm looking at my shelf. There are several. And then there's a game that is broken and should not have released and say, I mean, I installed Cyberpunk 16 gigabytes off the disk in a 50 gigabyte patch is what was installed. I mean, there was a lot of problems with that game, and clearly, like, it was not in shape to release.
All right. Well, yeah. I mean, if something's broken, then it's broken. Like if I bought the Mario Kart home edition and the cart actually didn't work, then yeah, I would expect a refund.
Yeah, and I think that's what people are saying. Like, this game does not work in the sense that you promised it to.
All right. Well, we are 10 minutes
over. It's almost like the Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite that they advertised that Infinity Gem set, and then the set that people got was completely different.
I don't know about that.
Oh, well.
I'll show it next time if we bring it up.
All right, I'll just bring it up next time. I mean, because I'll probably forget. But we are 10 minutes over. I just wanted to talk about the cyberpunk thing since you brought it up, and yeah, and it's like a lot of people's on mind. So, any final thoughts, guys?
I'm good.
Everyone's wonderful.
All right. Well, on that note, happy holidays to everyone. We'll have it's Christmas Friday, so we'll be before New Year's. So Merry Christmas, everyone, and whatnot. And we'll see you next week at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, guys. See you later. Hunter, Ronald, Social Games. I did see you come in. JR Magician. Sorry I didn't get to talk about that Phoenix Rising game that you were talking about. Bring it up next time, and we shall talk about it. See you guys. Have a good one. Merry Christmas and all that. Bah humbug if you don't like Christmas.